the winner for Best Supporting Reenactor, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The church is going to mandate. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling friends. Love that about you. Fitzdog in studio. Max Zapata, of course, riding the wing over there. We got lots to talk about. Golden Globes, and I got a lot of rando thoughts that I thought I would bounce off of you, Fitzdog.
Bounce.
First, I never really thought about this, but I saw it in New York. I see it in L.A. After the holidays, I see a lot of Christmas trees dumped.
Yeah, sure.
Just thrown out in the curb, and not for trash pickup. I see stuff just tossed by the side of the freeway and stuff.
Still got the tinsel on it, like little tears of an abandoned tree.
Yeah, but I have this thought, like, LA's got garbage dumped everywhere because there's a lot of poor Hispanics doing construction work, and the dump costs $120, and they have all kinds of rules. Like, they have rules about tires.
Yeah.
You can only bring in so many a year, like 4 a year. You have to pay a premium for the disposal, whatever. Thus, there's always tires on the street behind us because the poor folk go, well, fuck that. I'll just chuck it on the street. Now, there's a way to address that, but we don't do it. But that's poor people doing construction and dumping busted up drywall and stucco. Christmas trees, that's a different crowd. This is a group that celebrates Christmas with their family, so much so that they go out to the parking lot, or they go out to the church, or they go to the Home Depot, and they spend money on a Christmas tree to celebrate with their family.
Right. That
shouldn't be the same person who chucks it on the side of the freeway when they're done. That should be like sort of responsible, normal community, family. Like, the people should be chucking the tree are the people who don't give a fuck about Christmas, don't want to buy the tree, aren't going to spend the money. It's weird and sad that people can have the thought of celebration, family, nativity, whatever it is, and then after that, it's just a junk free-for-all.
Well, it's also, I just love all the environmentalists that they go and they drive their Prius to a lot where they take a tree that was cut out of the earth in its prime.
And
drive it back to their house.
Yes.
And then when they're done, they throw it on the side of the road.
Could we also do a thing here in LA which just has piles of trash everywhere? Could we get the word out that, on this, the day after the 1st, we will pick up your tree. Do not chuck it out by the side of the freeway.
No, they have that.
They do?
Yeah. Well, they do in Venice. There's a firehouse with a little lot next to it, and people take it there, and they pick them up once a week. And
oh, really?
I mean, I can't imagine they don't make it into pulp or something like that. Plus, just collecting the ornaments that people forgot. There's a windfall of cash right there.
Oh, you know how much popcorn you could get off those strings?
A macaroni Superman?
Did you string?
With Kyle written on the side of it?
Did you string popcorn as a kid?
No. We didn't have our shit together. We were not that kind of family. We had garish. My family met the 70s, and we said, nice to meet you. We're going to stick with you for the rest of the ride.
70s.
It was thick, that thick garland. It's like gold and silver. It looks like what Elton John would have worn on his cock.
Yes.
On a private jet.
I think the most 70s of the 70s, like we met the 70s and we loved the 70s, is carpet in a bathroom.
Yes, we had that.
You had carpet in a bathroom?
Yes, we did. Yep.
We
had carpet on top of the toilet seat.
Chris, you're too young to remember, but somebody walked into a bathroom in 1974 and went, where's the carpet? And then somebody went, well, this is the place where people pee and shit all day. Right. And they went, it's 1974, bro, and I'm not seeing any carpet.
Yeah.
And then someone said, well, why don't we take a little carpet merkin, like a bath mat, and toss that down? No, that is not cutting it in the carpet. I need full wall-to-wall fucking shag.
Yeah.
I'm barefoot.
Nappy shag. And then when we were done doing that, somebody went, but there's still some surfaces in here that could be carpeted and aren't. And they went, I know, the toilet seat lid.
Yep.
We'll carpet the lid and we'll pad the seat. It's some people.
So you sit and it sounds like you're farting because all the air comes out of that one broken seam and the polyester.
Yeah, I'm not too young to do that because I did have the carpeted toilet seat and the cushion seat where it would crack. The vinyl would crack.
Yeah.
And it would just scrape your butt.
Yeah.
Okay, so many different thoughts. First off, if you sit on the toilet seat long enough, the padded one, when you try to get up, it'll pull you back down because your ass does work a little froth up, a little sweat layer, and that vinyl, and it'll stick.
Yeah.
Number 2, my feeling with toilet seats is I don't want to entice people to hang out in the bathroom. No. Like I don't want you comfortable.
Right.
I want you in and out.
Right.
I don't want you falling asleep on the head. I want you to drop that, pinch that loaf, and move.
There's no magazine rack in my bathroom. I don't want you perusing the New Yorker.
Yes. Yeah.
Figuring out a funny slug line for the comic on the last page. Get out of there.
The next one is I rented a house that was a 70s house. I rented a room in a house. I rented apartments. I rent houses and have roommates. And then at some point, somebody's daughter went off to college, and I literally just rented a room in this house with this widower named Joan. And it was just me, and she was trapped. The house was from house was from like 1974. She was trapped in 1974 with the hair and the garb and everything. And my bathroom, which was in the hall, had the padded seat.
Yeah.
But the thing about the padded seat is it was 2.5 inches of nap on the padded seat, and when you kicked it up, it didn't go quite past vertical.
Yeah.
So what I'd have to do is you'd have to compress it.
Yes.
And when you compressed it, it would stay. But now you're on the clock because that shit's coming down like a whiz guillotine. And you're just pissing as hard as you can, and you're seeing the foam start to expand. Like you're in a spaceship movie, and you hit self-destruct, and the door's closing on the escape pod. And you're running at it like piss. Come on. At some point, it just dropped.
Right.
Cut the piss right off.
Yeah, the guillotine. It's like your cock feels like a traitor.
Yes.
About to get his head cut off.
Taken out to the town square during Bastille Day. So you had carpet on the floor in the bathroom.
We did, and we had a chandelier in the bathroom.
Whoa!
Yeah, it was very Vegas. My whole house had shag carpeting, wall to wall. And my father would get up, and my father was an alcoholic. He'd wake up in the morning, he would make a cup of coffee, and while it was, powdered, what do you call it?
Sanka or instant, yeah.
He'd make his Sanka, and then he'd walk down the hallway, and it was always, the cup was spilling. So we had white shag carpeting that had a brown line running down the middle of it as he walked to the bathroom, got in the bathroom, has a cigarette dangling from his lip the entire time, throw the cigarette into the toilet, piss, leave it there, light another cigarette, put it on the side of the tub.
Forget about it.
Get in the shower, halfway through, lean out, have a couple strong drags.
Wow.
The side of our tub had burn marks, like dozens of burn marks from the cigarette sitting there. And then I just remember getting up in the morning and going into the bathroom, and it smelled like booze and smoke and Sanka.
You should have died in a house fire because alcoholic meets I can smoke anywhere equals house fire.
Right.
God, you guys, Ben or Dawson, I mean, if you can find pictures of my old house bathroom, I will paint you a very sad tableau of what a horrible bathroom looks like.
And paisley curtains, not blinds, like heavy paisley curtains.
So my existence, and we're the same age essentially, my existence was the exact opposite of yours. I grew up, so in the 70s, you had to comply. You had to comply with home decor, wall-to-wall carpet in the bathroom, and the big nappy pillows, sofas, and stuff. Like there was an interior home look, just like you had to comply in the hair department. I've said it many times. All the women had the same hairstyle. The guys had the same hairstyle. It's like the 70s were a whole bunch of people doing the same thing. If you look at any yearbook from any high school from like 1977, you will see one hairstyle, which is kind of long and feathered back.
Yeah.
But the pictures will be comprised of people who could pull it off and those who tried and failed. But it's still the same look. It's just guys with hair like mine couldn't pull it off. Well, now it's shave your head, wear it long, buzz it short. I mean, you just like, you watched the Golden Globes last night. Every dude in there had a different hairstyle.
Yeah.
You could do whatever you want. Now, if the Golden Globes were in 1977, they would all have the same hairstyle. So as far as decor went, you had to have that kind of Brady Bunch, Fitzsimmons. There was the bathroom of the house I grew up in, which had the caulk on the side of the tub where the panel met the top of the tub looks like someone put it on with a flip-flop. Like it looked like it was applied with a playing card or a flip-flop.
Wow.
It was a gross, dank, fucked up. We didn't join the 70s is what I'm saying. So
and somebody saw the top of the shower and they went, we can fit some more wallpaper up there.
Yeah, like from the 50s.
Yeah.
And so my house never changed from the 50s. I grew up in an old house from the turn of the century, and everything was from the 50s. Hardwood floors, bad old wallpaper from the 50s. Now it's 1975, and it's decrepit and fucked up. But there was this really strong push to get, like, I want wall-to-wall carpet. I want the paisley drapes. I want the sofa with the big nap on it. There's no push now. The inside of your house is whatever you want it to look like. Same here. Same with Chris. You just get what fits the decor, the architecture, the year of the house, or whatever your personal preference is. There wasn't this crazy 70s push.
There's a trend or fad for what kind of bathroom you want to have now.
Yeah, you can have whatever, but you're not going to have shag carpet. But it's crazy that I thought shag carpet in the bathroom was the most 70s thing you could do, and that's what you had.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. I mean, you get up in the middle of the night to pee, and you step on some cold ass tile on your bare feet. Wouldn't you dream of shag at a moment like that?
Just whatever's going on around that toilet base scares me because there's a couple. It would not suit me well for an issue I have that I pray you guys have, but I'm not sure, which is frequently, I wouldn't say most of the time, but I would use the word frequently, I sit on the toilet and kind of lean forward, and my dick sort of just pulls in like a turtle's head, going back into the shell. And as I'm taking a dump, I start peeing, only to find out that the pee was going straight.
Because you turtled.
I turtled, and I was, 2 inches from the edge of the front of the bowl. Pee goes straight. As I climb off the toilet, notice a puddle at the base of the toilet where it followed the contour of the toilet down and puddled right at the base of where the toilet meets the tile, in which case I just mop it up and hit it with a little Windex or something. But at your house with the shag and the padding, that would have been an issue.
Yeah, it's already gross enough when I go to a house party or something and I want to dry my hands and that towel is already wet, that one towel in there. So imagine the carpet at somebody's house just being drenched, and yeah, I do that too. We're up, and it's totally because I'm turtling too.
You guys are flying alone on that one. I have never peed. Sometimes if I take a dump, and it's one of those ones where you're on the 405 in traffic, and it's crowning, and you're like, okay, am I going to make it? And then you get home, and it's almost sexual. And I have taken dumps that were backed up where I get an erection.
Wow!
While taking a dump, does that make me gay?
There's certain things like chaps, which mean you're either super straight or gay.
Yeah.
Certain mustaches are either super gay or super straight. You know what I mean? But it's not the middle.
So you think getting an erection while shitting could be the straightest thing in the world?
It could be.
I think so.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could also be gay. I don't judge. You know me, Fitzdog.
I mean, look, I don't let it halfway out and suck it back in and go back and forth.
Right.
I mean, it's going to do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
But somehow it's pushing my prostate and it's creating an enlargement.
The hit the end, on the 405 as you were discussing the crowning or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I've always discussed that, probably because I'm a car guy, which is the piston is at the end of its throw, meaning the piston goes down and then the piston goes up in the cylinder. And at some point, it gets as far as it can go before it's going to go through the top of the block. You know what I mean? If I tell you the piston is at the end of its throw, that means I need to use the toilet pronto.
Or this thing's going to seize.
Well, I was talking, I have other thoughts, but I was watching a lot of the jokes in the Golden Globes, and I was thinking of you because I've written for the Oscars a couple times. I'm going to begin writing for the third time soon. And
For the Oscars?
For the Oscars.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a cool thing to say you've done.
I wrote for the Emmys a couple times.
Yeah, so I thought we could go over some of Jerrod Carmichael's jokes and things like that, and we could critique them a little bit. I also had another thought. I was watching TV, and they were doing B-roll of fat people. And when I was younger, they would do occasional stories and they on the news, and it'd be like, they say, so and such makes you fat, and something with the food pyramid or something. And then they'd label it Battle of the Bulge every time. And then they'd show like one lonely guy crossing the street who was fat. Yeah. Or his head cropped out.
Yeah.
Just they'd go tight. It was like belly B-roll.
Yeah.
And it was just, everyone around him was thin, but they find the one fat guy.
Right.
I don't know if he ever saw himself on the news and sued. They would crop his head out. They do it from behind, or they'd shoot it down from the neck down, and they just show fat guy crossing the street. In this particular story in 2023, it was several hundred images of fat people, including 12-year-olds and stuff. Like, everyone was fat.
Was this a 60-minute story from last week?
No, it was a story about not the CDC, but the whatever guidance thing and childhood obesity and blah, blah, blah. There was
Pediatric Association.
B-roll of fat people everywhere. And then I thought, it must be so easy to get B-roll of fat people now. Like back in the day, you had to have a crew, you had to take them down to the corner, and you had to wait.
Yeah.
Like in hunting.
Yeah, like when Fitzdog was, when your dad was giving the green light to the carpet in the bathroom, if you want to shoot fatty crossing the street, you had to wait. You had to wait for a while.
Right.
There's probably a discussion, like an argument, this guy's fat.
Yeah.
He's 180 pounds and not fat.
Yeah.
Like, we need fat. But you would be waiting for a long time to see a fat person and get some fat-ass B-roll. You could go to any mall, any amusement park, any school, anywhere now, and immediately get fat B-roll.
Right.
And then I started thinking about my fatty B-roll, and I thought, if you're a production company, I bet you don't have to even leave the fucking building.
No.
Like, I think you could just go up the hall and go, Stan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go down, go get something out of the vending machine, would you?
No,
you'd be like, Stu, get the camera on Stan. Like,
no, you just send a group email to the staff. It's Sally's birthday, cake in the kitchen.
Cake in the kitchen.
Set up the camera.
The first three people to walk through the door. You just have the camera tilted down, come on in. The water's fine. What are you doing with the tripod?
Like,
we wanted to commemorate.
Right.
They wanted to capture Sally's birthday.
And they're like, who's Sally? We don't have a Sally here. Just the cake is in the kitchen, people.
Or Sally comes in and you're packing up the camera and you're like, don't you want to get her blowing out next year. We'll get it. We'll grab it next year. Yeah. I realize you would not have to leave the building.
Right.
If you had more than 7 employees and you needed fat ass B-roll, somebody in the building could take care of that.
And that's LA. This used to be a skinny city. I mean, if you just, send out to the affiliate in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh my God.
And you're going to get 20 in a row.
When you go on the road and you do these shows, which you're about to get a plug on
nice
because
transition.
you had carpet in your bathroom. You go to Atlanta, Georgia, or Philadelphia, PA. I was just at Helium over there. January 19th through the 21st at the Punchline in Georgia, and then Helium coming up January 26th through the 28th, and then Helium in Portland, and then Helium in PA, Philadelphia. That'll be March 9th through the 11th. You go to the Punchline in Georgia, you go to Wisconsin, places like that, and I do the meet and greet after the show. Those are some big dudes.
Yeah.
And they're not.
That's MEAT and greet.
They're not even. Yeah. Some of them aren't even all fat. They're just dudes.
Yeah.
Like when you shake their hand, it's got that big mitt and everything.
Right.
But you're right. LA is fat. Imagine what the rest of the fucking country looks like.
Yeah, it is amazing when you see the seats in some of these places, like Denver, Colorado. You ever work the Comedy Works in Denver, Colorado?
Yeah.
The seats are they're welded to the ground, and it's set up like a bus station. It's a row of seats. It's why it's maybe the best comedy club in the country, top 2, because everybody is facing you. But the seats are small. Denver's not a fat city.
No.
People can fit in those seats. That would not work at Acme in Minneapolis.
100%. All right, let's see. What else did I write down here? So we got a homeless situation here. Los Angeles just declared a homeless emergency.
Yeah.
So we're now under emergency orders because of our homeless problem. You see it in Venice, I guess, a lot.
Yeah.
I think Portland. Ben, did you just tell me Portland was under?
Seems like all of Oregon. It was the governor.
All of Oregon.
Statewide, yeah.
All right. So it's a homeless emergency, and it's a homeless emergency because they haven't wrapped their minds around why people are homeless, which I've been screaming about for a million years. I told Gavin Newsom 9 years ago it's drugs and mental problems. It's not having a house, and the solution is like, we got to get these people homes because it's called homeless, but it's never going to work because they want to do drugs. And I was yelling at Mike August about this about an hour ago, but I said, all homeless, so they go, we need low-cost housing or free housing for the homeless, but they don't want to go there because they're not homeless. They're drug addicts who don't have a home. But they're homeless for a reason. It's because they're drug addicts. And I said, all homeless people lived in a home at some point, and then they got onto drugs, and now they're not in their home. It's not the difficulty of finding a home. They either lived on their own, or they lived with roommates or relatives or family or whatever it is, or they couch surfed or whatever it is. And at some point, the drugs got such a grip on them that they would rather sleep outside than be sober and back on their mother-in-law's Murphy bed. So how could you possibly solve the homeless problem with homes if these people would rather do drugs? Like if you go, you can live in the shelter, but the rules are you can't do drugs. Well, the drug addict goes, I don't care. I would rather live outside and do drugs. So we need to wrap our heads around what is causing homelessness. It's not the factory closing down. That means you crash somewhere.
I think it's a lot of factors. Obviously, drug use is a big one. Probably the main one.
It is definitely the main one.
And then you've got mental illness.
Yep.
And then you do have housing prices in LA have gotten so out of control.
Right.
People can't afford them
but
anymore.
Here's how it goes. It goes drugs, mental illness, and then there's a huge gap, and then there's prices. Because that one can be worked out. If I ever sat down and wrote a list of how many roommates I had for the time I left high school to the time I got into radio, it'd be like 23 strange people who I circulated with in houses and rooms. Like I said, I had a one-bedroom apartment with 3 people in it. I had Joan's room with the padded toilet seat. And by the way, all my friends were pretty destitute losers too. We just all got together in a one-bedroom. We all had to kick in $150 a month and we could pull it off. Now, the rent is more now, but minimum, you can get a job at In-N-Out Burger and get $18 an hour out here. It's sort of equivalent. And you don't get to live where you want to live.
Yeah.
You have to live.
Well, what's tough is once you're out, then to get back in, you need last security.
Yes.
And then you need references for where you've been living, and you can't say La Cienega.
I remember looking for an apartment once, and the guy's like, it was so killer because they would have to run a credit check, and they would charge you $20 for the credit check.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're not, okay, just can we talk man to man here? you're going to go look up a credit check. You're either going to see no credit or bad credit. Because I work construction, I get paid cash, I owe the IRS money. Like it's going to be a shit show. It'll be a shit show. But I always pay my rent, and I always have paid my rent, and I will pay my rent. Like, but don't go look it up.
Right.
It's not gonna be a pretty picture.
Yeah, the best housing situation I had was I lived in Little Italy on Mulberry Street. You remember the Ravenite Social Club where Gotti's? It was Gotti's headquarters on Mulberry Street. It was literally upstairs from that, and it was all these old Italians. And Gladys and Tony had lived there, and they raised their kids there, and it was this shitty, rundown tenement apartment, and they were charging us $600 a month, and there was 3 of us living there, and every month, and they were only paying, they had rent control, so they were paying $300 a month, and we were paying $600. So we would go to Tony and Gladys's place on the first of the month, and they'd have cannolis and cappuccinos, and I'd give them $400. And then Tony would leave the room, and I'd give $200 to Gladys because that was her bingo money. Tony don't need to know about that.
Wow. Tony and Gladys, perfect old-timey names.
Yeah, my first friends that moved out, it was 3 guys, and they got a 1-bedroom apartment in Stanton. And so one guy set up shop in the living room, and then 2 guys set up shop in the bedroom. Their beds were so close together, they're about 7 inches apart. When they're showing off their apartment, we were all in awe. Like their cat just walked from one bed to the other because there was just no room in there.
I shared a futon in my first place, just me and a dude in a futon. And then at some point, a third dude moved in, and he slept on a fold-out sofa on the in the living room. It's just a living room and 1 bedroom and a kitchen. But the good news is this dude was a world-class cocksman. He just banged every hot 19-year-old in the valley all day, every day. He fucked so many chicks that I got some once because a chick came over on a Saturday night and won on a booty call for him. And I answered the door, and I was like, he's not around, but I am. And
you got spillover.
Yeah. Now, don't let the puddle in the front of the toilet confuse you, sweetie, because I'm a grower.
Yeah.
Not a shower.
Yeah.
And
I've been watching him fuck for the last year. I know his moves. I can do the moves.
We lived on Laurel Canyon. Hot chicks in Jeeps at 2 a.m. on Saturday would drive down Laurel Canyon when they're coming home from the club or whatever, and they would honk the horn as they went past our apartment on Laurel and scream his name out of the window. Wow. That's how much pussy this guy got.
Damn.
But on the fold-out sofa was one of those...
That's some streetcar named Desire pussy.
It was mechanical, the sofa, the metal frame and stuff, and one of the legs was fucked up. So it was 4 inches above the ground. It didn't fold down all the way.
Yeah.
So I'd be sawing logs in my futon, and I'd hear, which meant he was getting laid on the busted fold-out sofa because the one leg was just bang, 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 bang. And so I'd oh, awesome. So, of course, I'd come out and just hang the head around the door, and I could watch. It was awesome.
So you got to see his asshole pretty well, huh?
Yeah, I do different positions. I'd get a nice show. And I'll never forget, we had this guy trapped in the 50s named Al with the greaseback hair and everything. Lived below us with his dog Skipper, horn-rimmed glasses, windbreaker, pomade in the hair and stuff. 56-year-old dude, comes up to the apartment one night, and he goes, hey, I hear a lot of action going on down there. I'm hearing it. I'm right below you, and I hear that busted bed going all night. And it's he goes, yeah, I'm sorry, Al, because he's managing the building. We'll try to keep it down, and we'll fix the bed. And he goes, no. He goes, next time, why don't you kick one of those gals down to me?
Wow.
And I thought, how would this work?
How does that work? What's the playbook?
You look like
that?
you're in Sha Na Na. It's in 1985. You wear a fucking windbreaker.
Right.
He works security over at Northrop or something.
Yeah.
He's got his little mangy dog Skipper and his one bedroom apartment.
Right.
How would it work with the hot 19-year-old dressed up like Madonna in 1986? Where I was like, hey, Belinda, listen. Before we get, I know what you thought. I know you thought you're coming here to bang my roommate, the matinee idol over here, but there's a guy named Al down there. Looks like he's in a doo-wop band. He should go down there and suck his dick for a little bit. Like, how would kicking it down?
It would help us out a lot.
It would help us out. That's
just
right.
Do us a solid. It's a little bit throwback. Kids are into the retro 50s thing right now. Go all the way with it. Don't just buy a 50s car. Fuck Al.
Yeah. I don't know if guys say that thinking it's going to happen or they just say it to say, like, I'm not as old and my dick still works or whatever. But, Al want us to kick a chick down to him. All right, let me hit Simply Safe, and then we'll get on and do the Golden Globes. Property crimes like burglaries, the porch pirates, man. This stuff goes on all winter long as packages are being dropped off at your place. I got a second New Year's resolution for you. How about you get some Simply Safe? This great product, great company. Batteries last up to 10 years, peel and stick, ergonomically designed. Set it up yourself. Best home security system of 2022, so says U.S. News and World Report. Third year in a row, 24/7 professional monitoring. Cost under $1 a day, less than half the price of traditional home security systems. And Simply Safe has an app. You can arm or disarm, lock, unlock the guest house and let the folks in from out of town so you don't have to come home from work. Access cameras or adjust system settings anytime, anywhere with the Simply Safe app. Right, Dawson?
Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/Adam. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off your order with interactive monitoring. That's simplysafe.com/Adam. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
All right, we'll take a quick break, come back, and we'll break down the Golden Globes right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace man, just listening to your Tempe show, saying you got 2 requirements now, P.F. Chang's and a Topgolf. Come to Boise, man. We just built a Topgolf. I just went. It's good. It's awesome. And P.F. Chang's, we got you. I mean, this Topgolf had to be made for you. I'm telling you. We hit your boxes, man. Come on. I'm not from here. I came here. I'm from Baltimore. I came here. People don't know what drama and struggle is out here. It is easy, man. It's nice. Come on. Come to Boise. Love you.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, I love P.F. Chang's. Topgolf I've never been to, and I don't play golf. It's just a sign that your civilization has evolved to the point where I could live there.
Right. It's like hot yoga. Do they have hot yoga? Not going to do it.
Not doing it.
But I want to know there's a lot of chicks doing hot yoga in your city.
Let me tell you something. All yoga is hot yoga to me. I sweat my fucking balls off at room temperature yoga, and you catch me 20 minutes in, and my shirt is soaking wet because what they get you to do, for me, causes me to sweat more than jogging. If you're jogging, there's movement and there's air passing by you. You fold it up into a pretzel trying to suck your own dick for 10 minutes. That's where the sweat. It's like being interrogated by the Gestapo or something. You're not moving, but you're sweating.
Yeah, and the windows they never open a window because it has to be peaceful. You have to be able to hear the bells.
Yes.
And the Middle Eastern music, so they can't have traffic noise coming through. So it's a vacuum in that room.
And I'm fine with all of it, but I don't like the talking. Just tell us what pose, and you can do the pose and take your left arm and put. I don't want the sort of Michelle Obama aphorisms in between the pose talk. But you
can be
always,
the best you that you can be.
Right. They always start with a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, and then they always go, blow out all the stale air, all the old stale air. I'm like, bitch, it's 10 seconds old. What are you talking about, the stale air? Do you understand how breathing works? Oh, this air's been in my lungs since, Nana was alive. I mean, it's like, it's always take it all in, all the old stale air. It's not stale. It's as fresh as air can be. It's the closest, it's the last time I inhaled.
Yeah. And if 20 of us are blowing out stale air, how about cracking a window?
And what's our next gulp of air going to taste like if we just filled the room with stale air?
Yeah. They should tell you, and now everybody fart. That's the stale air.
Yes, that is.
Do a down dog. Open up your sacrum and let it fly.
Yeah, which has to be going on in that environment.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so now we get to the Golden Globes. Yeah. You watched it?
I saw the second half, and then I went back and I watched a couple clips.
So it is what it is, and it's kind of, I mean, Ricky Gervais is sort of the GOAT with that. So Jerrod Carmichael, first things first, I did not sign off on the wardrobe change for dudes. I don't need the dude host changing the wardrobe. If ladies want to engage in that folly, I'll give it to them. I don't sign off on dudes doing it.
One outfit.
He had
how
many outfits? Yeah, or whatever you're going with, you got to go with it. You want to know why? Because you're hosting this show, right?
Yeah.
And you got what? 2.5 hours, 3 hours? I don't know what it is.
3 hours last night.
You know what I want? I want you standing in the wings, listening like thieves, like the great In Excess would explain. I want you listening for any potential joke or miss whatever or anything. I don't want you in the back with some gay guy telling you to hold still while he's like frantically undoing the tie and putting the brooch on it.
No, you want the Jack Palance moment where he comes out. Remember Billy Crystal?
Push-ups.
That was one of the greatest moments in the Oscars.
I don't want you in the back. I want you standing in the wings listening to every bit, every syllable that comes out of anyone's mouth in case they fuck up. You can pounce on it.
Yes. I think you shouldn't even wear a decent outfit in the first place. You should have been working on jokes right up until showtime.
Don't got time for a tux.
Come out in a sweatshirt and some work boots.
So he went with a few different outfits. Some of them were okay. One of them he had a pearl necklace on, which is, I don't know if this is a Harry Styles thing or something, but let's knock it off, fellas. Yeah. But the last one, he went on with basically... The last outfit, he had kind of a frock on. It's sort of what...
I think those were the curtains in my bathroom when I was a kid.
My Nana wore one of those when she washed the dishes.
I think if you get a picture of anyone in any of the sisters in the sitcom The Flying Nun, I think they wore an outfit that looked like Jerrod Carmichael's last one. So the jokes, which we went over, I saw a few of them. They didn't really land. Did you notice, Fitzdog?
Yeah, I don't know that he was going for hard jokes as much as making a statement. I think on this one, it seemed like
especially
the gist of it.
The monologue didn't really have very many jokes either.
I didn't see the monologue. I saw the interstitial
that's all I saw.
joke.
I didn't see the interstitials. The monologue was sort of just about him being black and.
We'll play. You have the sisters from The Flying. Let's see if my memory serves. The one on the left. That's what I was thinking about. The sleeves with the frock that went over the top of it.
The white collar popping out.
Mother Superior. All right. So let's recap some of those jokes because Fitzdog's a jokesmith. I've written for the Oscars. He's written for, let's say, the Emmys.
The Emmys, People's Choice Awards, the Man Show, what was it called? The Guys' Choice Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've written on all those.
The Guys' Choice Awards?
And he hosted the AVN Awards, too.
Hosted
the prestigious AVN.
Twice.
Yeah. Ron Jeremy's not in good shape, by the way.
Ron Jeremy is, who knew he had to steal it?
What? Right. He was getting it for free. Yeah, accused of rape.
Crazy,
right?
I mean, Jesus Christ. It's like, he did some sketches with me one of the years that I hosted it. And he was the gentleman. He was so nice to women. I was so shocked when it happened. He's the guy that, like, I've hung around with a lot of famous people, and I've never been in public with somebody that gets noticed, accosted, photographed, autographs more than Ron Jeremy. You can't walk through an airport with Ron Jeremy.
No.
Yeah. And he's polite to everybody.
Yeah, although I did hide on an airplane famously to try to get away from Ron Jeremy because of his musk on a Southwest flight.
He has some. He has some musk.
Every time he'd come here, he'd roll pretty deep too with like 4 girls.
Well, so let's figure this out because I was thinking about this. The 2 most recognizable people on our planet and our society, sadly, are Ron Jeremy and Yoko Ono. 2 people that didn't contribute to our society. You know, you'd wish it was some Stanford professor who came up with the gene molecule and cancer or something. But it is a porn star and a non-musician side piece, and they're physically the most. Yeah. I mean, universally the most. Because what I'm saying is they did the. During the Golden Globes, Billy Porter gave like the Cecil B. DeMille Award or some award to some producer.
Yeah, Ryan Murphy.
What's his name?
Ryan Murphy.
Ryan Murphy. And Ryan Murphy just went on and on and on about all the productions and all the people and all the sitcoms and all the dramas and all the running B-rolls. Like that guy did everything. But I thought to myself, as I was watching it, he could literally walk through any airport on the planet. No one would say, no one would say, I work. I live in Hollywood. I work in television. I have no idea who he is. I would not recognize him. I recognize his 7,000 shows he created. I don't recognize him.
Yeah, he closed the largest TV deal ever with Netflix.
Really?
So, yeah, he has all those Netflix shows.
But yet can go right through Burbank Airport with nary a stop in a picture. Yeah. But Ron Jeremy is the most recognizable guy because he is in a universal genre, because there's people that recognize sporting guys, but for your friend who's not into sports, they have no fucking idea who that person is. And then there are people like you do that thing where you go, oh, it's the guy from White Lotus. And then the person next to you goes, I don't watch White Lotus. Yeah. It's all fractioned off now. Porn is universal.
It runs the internet. It created the VHS tape.
Right. So the guy who's not into sports is into porn, and the guy who's not into the White Lotus is into porn, and thus Ron Jeremy becomes this hub of recognition because all spokes lead to him.
He's the only male porn star that I can name.
What?
I can't name another porn actor.
Oh man, when Randy West comes in here later, he's going to be crestfallen. Crestfallen.
And Peter North.
And Peter North. They're going to be destroyed to hear that.
Peter North, the guy who had the Tasty Cum? I think he was famous for Tasty Cum, and they asked him what the secret was. Pineapple juice.
Geez, for a guy who never heard of another porn star 22 seconds ago, you've all of a sudden become an almanac of porn references.
I mean, I had it. A lot of them went through my consciousness when I hosted the Porn Awards, but none of them stuck. Ron Jeremy's the only name I can recall.
Do they do the in memoriam?
Oh, God, no. God, no.
Because everyone killed themselves earlier in the year.
They died weighing 86 pounds with a lot of cold sores.
Should there be... Ron is in very bad shape right now. He has very deep dementia. He's just heard a story where he got moved into another ward. It's now the point where he cannot be incarcerated. Yeah. He must go into a halfway house or whatever. So he is gone mentally. Mm. He may go this year for sure.
Yeah.
At the AVN Awards, at the Porn Awards, should there be an in memoriam for Ron Jeremy?
The rapist?
Okay, that's an allegation. The alleged rapist.
I think when you're behind bars, you take alleged away.
Okay, but they don't do a lot of judging in that group. You know what I mean? Because next category is best double anal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And half the scenes are shot in jail cells.
Right.
In real porn.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe he was just doing research. So, what is there? He's an ambassador for porn.
Yeah.
When he's not raping.
Yeah.
Should that we carve out a little in memoriam for Ron Jeremy at the next AVN Awards?
Well, just getting back for a moment to Best Double Anal, which really was a category. My feeling was...
Really? I thought I made that up.
No, that was a real category. And my feeling was, do you have to have a winner? All right, they're all winners.
Yeah.
Any of them that can fit two back there, give them a plaque.
It's like a Tough Mudder, pardon the pun, but it's like everyone who finishes, they all get a fucking ribbon.
Right. What's best?
It was the same.
How did you do it better than somebody else?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. All right, so the Golden Globes. So we have Jerrod Carmichael, some of the...
Yeah, so do you want the interstitial or do you want to do the monologue first?
Let's do some interstitials, because I felt like he was kind of throwing them away, and there were also kind of deep-cut references, like the Scientology guy's wife.
Yeah, let's watch that one first.
Really?
So this was the one that went viral, so...
this pianist is beautiful.
I loved her.
She's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna hold three trophies there.
We're having some audio issues.
It's always a sound thing when we roll clips. I'm never sure why.
Yeah, we just checked it. Everything was fine, and now it's not. It's some ghost in the machine. I apologize.
All right. Well, I'll keep talking. Fitzdog, there's a kind of difference, or you tell me, because you've been at it for a while. There's a difference between the jokes you tell in front of your friends who are in comedy, who are really kind of high level, high reference, sort of get all the nuanced shit, and then a slightly different version of that, like at the club,
the Friday
when
night
you're
late
performing.
show.
Yeah, like it's just that, I was at the Comedy Store Monday night, and I look out in the audience, 26-year-olds from out of town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not going to get certain references and things like that. And then there's award shows where it's like you have to do kind of corny jokes, but you have to do the best version of a joke that a 13-year-old would laugh at. And you can knock yourself out doing the best version of that, but you can't do the stuff you and your buddies are talking about, comedic buddies after the show drinking a scotch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I learned that when I was young, because we used to go to the Friars Club a lot when I was a kid. And my father was in entertainment, and so he belonged to the club. And I used to meet and hang out with all these Borscht Belt comics, guys like Freddie Roman and Mousy Lawrence and Dick Capri. And these guys, when they were on stage, tuxedo, clean, accessible, funny, fucking everybody got the joke.
Right.
And then off stage, filthy, inside, like you said, inside jokes, those were the guys I got to hang out with. And then when I saw them on stage, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
And I love that. I love that there was two sides that you got to be as a comedian. It's one of the things that drew me into being a comedian.
Yeah, my analogy would be for a award show. So I kind of learned this the first year I was writing shit with Jimmy for the Oscars. I was trying to make him laugh because he's at a higher level than the audience is. But I've kind of learned it's not really about impressing him and making him laugh. It's about a mass joke that 2,000 people could laugh at. And the analogy I would make would be like someone saying, we're opening a breakfast place and you can't make quiche here. People don't. And you go, but it's my friends like quiche. Yeah. It's like you have to make the best donut you can make. You can knock yourself out, but it's got to be a fucking donut. Right. And that's the kind of jokes, just donuts and coffee jokes.
But you want the people to think they're eating quiche.
Yeah.
You have to give them a joke that has a little trapping of edge to it without really being edgy. That's why Billy Crystal was so, and I'm not a huge Billy Crystal fan, but he was the best at the Oscars because he got that. He understood what level to deliver a joke at. And there was something about him that seemed a little edgy and mischievous.
Right. All right, we'll play you.
Oh, yeah, so this is the one of the jokes that went viral last night.
Hey guys, backstage I found these 3 Golden Globe Awards that Tom Cruise returned. Look, I'm just the host briefly or whatever, but I have a pitch. I think maybe we take these 3 things and exchange them for the safe return of Shelly Miscavige. Anyway, from Top Gun Maverick, please welcome.
I literally had to Google Because the first time I've heard it is Miscavige.
Miscavige. Yeah. He said it
Right.
wrong.
So if you said Shelley Miscavige, maybe I was with you. But if you say Miscavige,
yeah,
I literally had to Google it, number one. Now, the way award shows work, sadly, is him saying if you listen to it, there's 3 laughs in it. There's, I found these Golden Globes backstage, and they laugh.
Great.
It's a prop thing.
Perfect.
It's not even funny. It's just that's who they are.
Yeah.
And then you go, they belong to Tom Cruise, and now everyone laughs. And if you just cut it there, you'd have 2 broad jokes that wouldn't have been that funny to us, per se, but it would work on a broad scale.
Yep.
And then you go Miscavige, and you don't get the laugh.
Yeah. Right.
No more stale air in that room after that one.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to mispronounce the name, it sort of goes in the face of the fact that you're showing that you care about her in the first place.
It's also one of those jokes where it's like, it is a really good joke. He also kind of screwed up. He was kind of looking down the whole time, and he was going, these things where he should, we sell these Golden Globes and get Shelley Miscavige
he
or
looked
whatever.
a little flustered with
right.
it.
He looked like he kind of lost confidence in his joke as he was setting up the joke. But if I'm a comedian who wrote for the Oscars, if I have to do a Google search of the name you just said, probably because he mispronounced it, then that's not good.
Right.
That means you've lost most of America who's watching this show.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, here's another.
And also there's an element of, it's not like a late night smoky club in Harlem. Like, you got to bring it a little bit. You got to kind of stand up and push it out. You know, you got to emote, you know, you got to push a little, you got to dance a little bit. Right. Is kind of what I'm saying. That kind of look
like
down and go, yeah.
All right, here's another joke about the Little Mermaid.
That was Under the Sea, Chloe? You're playing Under the Sea? Have we figured out, is the crab from Little Mermaid racist? Did we figure that out? It was voiced by a black man, but he's from South Carolina. Does that count? Is it like Drake rules where like a black person can interpret black voice? Okay.
So he's talking to the piano player. So I don't know if that could have been freeballing it. And
I don't know what Drake rules are enough, though. Like, Drake is half black. So what's the Drake?
Oh, is that it? Okay.
I don't know what the Drake rules are. Like, that's the other thing, too, is you got a bunch of 75-year-olds, you know, Jews sitting out here. They're not going to figure out, they're not going to get the Drake rules reference.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, and I should preface this by saying, like, Jerrod's a friend, and I think he's funny.
Yeah.
I do. He's not a friend, but I do think he's funny.
And he came out, and the monologue was really very pointed. And he was saying, I mean, don't forget, these awards were canceled last year.
Right.
There were 150 voters on the Golden Globe committee, and none were black. So he said that they asked me to do it because I'm black. Yeah. And he kind of said he did it for the money. He said
we have that.
They're offering me $500,000. And so you go like, all right, so that kind of explains the tone of some of these jokes. He's not really, his heart's not in it.
Yeah, that was kind of the vibe he put out right at the top of the show.
I don't think he's going to be back.
Well, they always say that about Ricky Gervais, and then they always bring him back again.
Yeah, but he crushes.
Yeah.
All right, we have that monologue.
Yeah, so why don't we start with the opening? So clip 1A, Ben. And this is interesting too because he didn't use a microphone or a podium like Ricky Gervais does. He's just walking with a lavalier mic.
And the sound was not good.
It wasn't.
Because of that.
This show, the Golden Globe Awards, did not air last year because the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which I won't say they were a racist organization, but they didn't have a single black member until George Floyd died. So do with that information what you will.
So that was the beginning. So it's just very light laughter,
It's
like uncomfortable laughter.
You don't want to make people uncomfortable to laugh.
Yeah.
If you do Tom Cruise left these behind, everyone will just laugh.
Yeah. So then he
start getting in a race and George Floyd and stuff, slows people's roll a little bit.
So he came out of the gate trying to catch everybody up, and then he talks about getting the call from the producer of the show. So he sits down and he gets real intimate and tells a story about how he got the call for the gig.
All right.
Stephen Hill's a great producer, and he said, Jerrod, really, I'm honored to be making this phone call. He said, I'm producing the 80th Golden Globes, and it would be an honor if you would agree to join as the host. I was like, whoa. You know? Like, 1 minute you're making mint tea at home. The next you're invited to be the black face of an embattled white organization. Life really comes at you fast, you know?
Yeah, so he's more of just storytelling and not really roasting anybody except for the Hollywood Foreign Press. But
I look, I don't want to sound like, my grandfather, but a format that always works is the roast format. It works everywhere all the time. It worked when you were at the Friars Club. It works, I did the Alec Baldwin roast a few years ago. He was in a better mood that night, but the roast format just kind of works. Like, just pull up to the podium and go find whatever celebrity in the crowd, and you can roast the Golden Globes themselves, but it's got a kind of pattern to it and a kind of cadence to it that's not. Nobody roasts anybody sitting down.
No, that's a one-man show.
Yeah. Right. So it's one of those things where it's like you can mix it up all you want, but this is the format. This is what works on human beings in this setting. Yeah. Now, if it's the cool club in Soho at midnight, then that's a different vibe.
It's, really, it came down to they hired Jerrod Carmichael. This is the kind of comedy he does. So I don't really put it on him as much as them saying, we want a hip, current black guy.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't say we need somebody who, like you said, delivers in the pattern that works for this format.
Yeah. So it was a different format, and it definitely got mixed reviews online. But yeah, and he did mention that he got paid $500,000 for the gig.
Well, some comedians don't want to get caught trying, but when you host an award show, you need to get caught trying.
Yes.
Like, you need to try hard. There's a lot of comedians that have a kind of a vibe where I'm not dancing. You have to dance in that environment.
Yeah.
I wonder if Jimmy's going to do an outfit change for the...
Yeah. Look, he should.
All right, I'll give him a frock from the Flying Nun.
Well, some other stuff with the awards too that I noticed. A lot of the acceptance speeches went long, and it seemed like nobody cared. Like, or at least the people up there, they weren't rushing after they heard, and it wasn't really that classical swelling orchestration. It was like jazz piano, and
you know what I think as I watch this. There used to be a relationship with being played off, which is you'd be waxing on, you'd be on your third manager that you're thanking and your fifth adopted kid. And at some point you'd hear the music swell up and you'd go, oh shit, that's my time. And you'd go into hyperspace, you'd spit out a couple more names and run off. Now it's like, fuck you for playing the music. I'm going to carry on. It's kind of the same relationship we now have with cops. When I was a kid, if a cop pulled up behind you in a cop car, you would turn the radio down. Yeah. And if you were smoking a cigarette, you'd eat it.
Yeah.
And put your hands back on the wheel. Right. Now there's like cops standing around and goes, go dump a bucket of water on his fucking head. Yeah. Go up to him, man. Go tell him to fuck off. Like it's like... We used to go, whoa, they're playing the music. Shit, we got to bring it home.
Yeah, the siren is your playoff music.
Yes.
Whatever you're doing, wrap it up.
We didn't get angry at the cop for pulling up behind us. We were scared shitless. Now they're angry at the music.
Yeah.
All right. Verdas is out there, who was on Fitzdog's show.
He's great. Love this guy. Just met him, and he's fantastic.
Can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait. He's coming back on the show. Fitzdog has a lot of dates coming up, including the podcast, of course, Fitzdog Radio. But just go to gregfitzsimmons.com because he's coming to Atlanta and Portland. He's coming to Georgia. He's coming to Portland. He's coming to Philly as well. Fitzdog, always good to see you, my friend.
Thanks for having me, Ace, man. Great to see you, buddy.
Take a quick break. Be right back with comedian, actor Vir right after this.
Vir on the Adam Carolla Show.
Good to see you again, Vir.
Thank you for having me back, sir. It's good to be back.
The special is called Landing. It's now streaming on Netflix as we speak. Just came out, so go find it and make it super popular on the network. Think about this as you were talking about doctors, which is, I've always had this theory that, for instance, women, and I've talked about it before, and women have kind of admitted it, they would like their gynecologist to be gay.
Yeah, sure.
And if not gay, a nationality that was different than their own, so they didn't have to think of their dad. You know, like you don't want someone who looks like your dad, who's Irish and Welsh, whatever your lineage is.
I feel like you're about to tell me we're unfuckable as Indian doctors.
No.
Only to white women.
What I was gonna say is, I think I like a doctor from a different nationality doctor. I think I like it.
Is it because, like, subconsciously you feel like your secrets won't make it back to anybody you know?
Yes.
Because he's from far away?
Yeah, if there's some Italian guy named, Tony, and he's got a Lance the Carbuncle that's on my taint, I'd feel like I could go to a restaurant and see him sitting there, or he may know a dude I went to high school with. I like the Indian doctor.
Right.
We don't share the culture. He can talk all he wants. I'm never going to hear it.
He knows what's in your rectum, but no one in your family.
That's right.
That's the line that we have.
But do Indians feel that way?
I don't, not to make this a big, but like Medicare is like super expensive in America. And then you go, like in India, you can get like anything from, firstly, all your medicines are home delivered. I don't know if you know that about, so like in America, you have to go to CVS and there's like a weird dance that you do with the lady at CVS where you wait for 45 minutes. In India, you can get like chemotherapy home delivered if you want it. Not that you should do that, but that you can get anything without a prescription in India. And that's kind of amazing. So
is that government sanctioned or is that just the economy?
It's just, it's such a large country and like Medicare at so many levels that you can just walk, like I can walk into a chemist and buy any antibiotics that I want, with the exception of maybe like sleeping pills and like other stuff without a prescription.
Sort of, I guess Mexico is sort of that way.
Yeah.
Too.
Don't a lot of people from here go down to Mexico to get like stuff that they can't get up here or something?
Yeah.
Oh, we go out there to get everything we can't get. We get fireworks, we get whores,
STDs.
Yes, we come back with a lot of M80 and an STD. Yeah, nice. That's and I don't know if India is this way, but so with Mexico, like when I used to go to Mexico way back in the day, me and my construction crew, we'd go, we're going to Baja, and we'd all pile in trucks,
nice.
and we just go down to Baja, and we go down the coast of Baja, and we just park the four-wheeler and camp on the beach and surf naked and whatever. And you go down these dirt roads with a M80 firecracker, lighting it off a cigar and throwing it at the guys behind you in the next truck from the bed of the truck. And then I realized, oh, this is what you can do when there's no rules.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you can get raped on the beach because there are no rules in general. It's good, it's bad. Is India have a good and a bad no rules?
India definitely has more rules than Mexico. I will say that. We are not raping naked white men on the beach because they're surfing. So that's not happening at all. But I think it depends on where you are in India. Like India is such a vast country where there are definitely pockets of India that will feel like Mexico. Like if you go up north to like Ladakh, or if you go to, some Manali, like you can do your drugs, you can have your fun. I live in Goa, which is a little bit outside of Bombay, and it's like a beach town. And that's where everybody comes to misbehave over the weekend and then leaves. So you can find pockets in India, I think.
Are you there often?
In Goa, I live there. Like we ran during the pandemic and just never left. We never went back to Mumbai, my wife and I.
What were the pandemic protocols and rules over there?
It was strict. We had a really tough lockdown.
So why go to a tough lockdown? place.
So I went to Goa because it's by the beach. So suddenly, like, Goa felt like your Florida. You know, where it was just this universe on its own, and they were like, yeah, this may be a pandemic, maybe not, but
so India was tough on the lockdown, but Goa wasn't.
Goa wasn't at all. No.
Oh, so that's
so that's why we went. Yeah, and, you know, I was able to gig. Like I started doing these outdoor gigs in a forest, which was kind of nice. So I just, you know, back to basics. You're one speaker and like a microphone, and you climb up a hill, and people come see you at 4 p.m. in the sunlight, and you do stand-up. It was kind of beautiful.
What's the stand-up scene like out there?
In India, it's gigantic now. But
is it?
Mostly in Hindi, though. So we have this billion people audience that love Hindi stand-up, and it's kind of edgy and poetic, and there's clubs in every city now. And it's kind of, I mean, it's definitely not as experienced, but just as many clubs as the West, I'd say now.
Really?
Yeah, It's growing.
I mean, that must have changed a lot in a short period of time.
It's changed since I saw you last. You
really?
know, like, I think the first time I did your podcast maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
That's on my sheet
2019.
somewhere. Yeah.
You know?
4 years ago, right?
4 years ago, and it's like skyrocketed since even then.
Really?
Markedly different, yeah.
I guess that's good.
It's great. It is.
I mean, it's a good sign for a culture.
I think so. I think so too. I mean, what you have to deal with when you grow that quickly, and I think you guys took your time with it, is then suddenly millions and millions of people who have never seen stand-up before are now seeing stand-up. So then you get every kind of reaction. There's no protocol set for Indian stand-up just yet, which is something you have to deal with, you know.
What kind of reactions do they have?
I mean, my special's a little bit about that as well. I did a YouTube video that got a ton of outrage. And then I was on the news and a bunch of people called me a terrorist. You know, it was, you know, so that's a reaction too, in that sense.
Because of what you said at the Kennedy Center?
Yeah. And in general. And so then you kind of had to buckle down and write jokes about stuff like that, you know.
So they're sort of less tolerant, I guess.
A certain part of it. Like, I think we all have like, don't you guys have the two news channels that are on fire all the time? We've got like 3 of those as well.
Yeah, well, but as it pertains to comedy, we got a little panties in a bunch, little tight-ass, like very woke or something kind of recently, but then it kind of backed off, I think, over the last year or so.
You feel like it swung the other way?
I do. I think there was just a lot. I do think I shouldn't say it swung the other way. I feel like it's swinging the other way. I think there's enough people kind of pushing back. I think comedy traditionally just sort of push back.
Yeah.
You push back against the norm. Yeah. And if the norm is offended and uptight, then you'll push back against that. Now the norm, the offended and uptight in this country was the Christian right. It was always the Christian right.
Interesting.
You worked in radio. At some point, you'd get called into the program director's office because they got a letter from some church group or some Christian something, and you knew it. Like if in 1995 or 1998, if somebody said, "You've offended this group," we got a letter. It was always like, what religious Christian uptight assholes did we offend? It is now you've offended a college student who's an atheist. So it's crazy how far it swung. It went from uptight churchgoers to sort of progressive, pot-smoking, bisexual, hacky sack playing college kids or progressive people who are pissed off on behalf of a group they're not even in.
Well, does it change what you do? Because, you get a letter from a progressive right group. I mean, they're going to hold on to those values forever. You get a letter from a college kid, like they're going to change 2 years from now. They're not going to be...
Well, the thing that's interesting is the Christian group wasn't interested in your ideas. They were interested in the actual words.
Okay.
So you said, God damn it. Mm-hmm. So you might say, oh, man, I was walking down the street and this homeless guy came up to me and he said, God damn it. And they didn't care about how you treated the homeless guy. They didn't like the actual words.
Yeah.
They didn't like that you said tits or God damn it or, even maybe, coos or snatch or something. That was all words.
Yeah.
The progressive left doesn't care about the words at all. You can say motherfucker and asshole and tits all the way. They don't like your idea. They don't like what you're talking about.
Which is why I think one group wants an apology and one group wants you to go away. Like, and there's no amount of away that anybody has defined. Like, that's the one thing I've always seen is the Western notion of kind of getting canceled. Who decides when you get to come back or how you get to come back or how much downtime is enough downtime? Because there's no system in place, right, for that. Like, how long do you have to hide out before you get to come back?
I think that what's the term? I think there's a couple categories. There's things you can never come back from.
Yeah.
That's a kind of Harvey Weinstein kind of
But that's
stuff.
illegal, right? So for sure.
Yeah. Even being accused of being like a serial philanderer or Me Too or whatever without actually going to prison. I think there's that. There's some sort of racial version of that as well that's hard to get back from, but it's really dependent on your ability. Like if you're really good, you get to come back a lot faster.
Shouldn't there be a chart just like, okay, any crimes you go away forever, but like Hitler costume at a frat party, you go away for like 3 years, and then like mean tweet about somebody, you go away for 6 months. Like, I think that'd be a useful system just to set in place.
I would like it defined as well. It'd be nice. And I wish there was that laminated card that society had in their wallet that could tell you the difference between Hitler costume at the party and mean drunken tweet or whatever it is.
So a comedian just knows, okay, Florida for 6 months. That's how long I have to go away from, and then I come back.
Yeah, but I think there's like Louis C.K. He's back, and then there's is it Wallen? Who's the country singer? Dropped an N-bomb out in the streets. Neighbor filmed him because he was like drunk. Is it Wallen? I don't know. I think he's the biggest selling act.
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. He's I got caught in between two dudes who have no thoughts about country music. I don't know it either. I just watched TMZ.
No, I'm a huge fan. I know everything about country.
Morgan Wallen,
he dropped a few N-bombs out in the street, not to a black person, but like yelling at his friends when he was drunk.
But calling white people the N-word? Or?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And he only got it because his neighbors were like tired of him coming home drunk and like getting in arguments on his lawn. So they filmed it and then they put it out there. But he was canceled hard about 2 years ago, year and a half ago. And he's selling out stadiums now. And he's pretty back. Am I right, Ben? Am I making this up? Or what was it? There's probably on the internet, dropping bombs. His neighbor was filming. I don't know. I don't like the dime droppers. I don't know if they have that phrase in any. I don't like the people that rat people out.
I don't like the filmers either because I've been one of them. So during the pandemic, I had like a neighbor and he just kind of been tormenting us for like a year, and I was renting from this guy.
What kind of tormenting?
Him and his brother had a property dispute and I was renting the place from his brother. Right. So he just kind of made our life difficult. And then at some point he came down drunk and I filmed the guy. And he was just like, I'm gonna fuck you up, and I'm like, you can just see me going, sir, please don't, like, just back away. You're an old man. I will hit you, and I will go to jail. So please just go away, go away, go away. And I think what I figured out is, I don't think people are filming crazy behavior. I think people behave crazy because they're being filmed. So he was relatively calm, and then the minute I pulled my camera out, like he threatened me once, and when I pulled my camera out, that led to like 45 more just crazy things coming out of his mouth.
What's drunken Indians sound like? Because I just have a feeling I'm going to fall in love with that. Like drunken, American drunken, Midwest, Wisconsin drunken. It's just kind of sloppy. It's not really.
It's a lot
funny.
of singing, isn't it? Like Americans sing when they're drunk, wherever they are in the world.
I just want to hear if you could simulate what this drunken Indian guy.
It was a lot of fuck. So he's like, I will fuck you. And I was like,
it's already good.
Right. And it was, I think it was something about the house, and he's like, I grew up in that house. I shat in that house, and I'm like,
oh, it's pretty similar to us.
You know, like yesterday. I don't know how that works, but you know.
February of 2021. So we're coming right up on a year of Morgan Wallen, who's pretty much the biggest country guy right now. So I'm figured out.
Yeah, he's headlining festivals.
Yeah.
Oh, right? Still or was?
Still. Yeah.
He came back. But that's because people like his stuff, I guess, or country people don't care about the N-word. But well, look, I have to put all possibilities on the table here.
Well, but as we were saying, like the backside of a phone can just change a person. Either way, either if you're filming them, like I've seen people turn it off too. Like they're really angry, and the phone comes out, and they go, "Why you got?" You know, they'll just stop everything. Like, "Why are you filming me?" Like, and it like triggers something.
I love the face touch. Like every time somebody has a camera put on them instantly, there's like a moment of what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this? And there's always just like a fixing of the hair.
Yeah.
You know, right before the crazy behavior. And I love that.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite videos online though. It's just like people melting down because they've been filmed at airports.
Oh yeah, public freakouts are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the deterrent that we'd hoped it would be.
No.
Just like when they put up surveillance cameras in the 7-Elevens, you thought no more robberies now. No, we've upped our we've upped the ante.
But now they edit them together, right? So it's the same person, like, I'll fucking kill you, I'm gonna take you out, and then just they cut into, I'm not a racist. I was on antibiotics, and now both of them are together, and it's a great edit.
Yeah.
So he does this 2 years ago. Do we have the TMZ Morgan Wallen thing?
Oh boy.
Take care of this pussy. Hey, actually, hey, y'all too. Hey, take care of this pussy ass motherfucker. Oh. Hey, Gracie, take care of this pussy ass.
Obviously very drunk.
Yeah, he's drunk. Dropped an N-bomb or two, maybe in there. Call the guy pussy. Neighbors filming it.
I mean, he must have been doing this a lot if the neighbor's out the window. Like, we got him.
He's here.
Like, you got to wait for that.
He got canceled hard, and it's got the #1 song on country airplay chart right now.
Look at that.
And he won Album of the Year at the American Country Music Awards in 2022. So
he also has 9 cars parked outside his house that don't look like his cars at all.
Yes.
I don't know why.
He probably has a better pad now, because he's
very successful still.
He's blowing up. But if you're really good at what you do, whether you're a country singer or whether you're a comedian or whether you're a metal fabricator, you will come back a lot faster from whatever happened.
And I think your fan base will rally around you even harder. Like, I think that's possibly what's happening with like a Louis C.K., for instance. I think his fan base like violently comes out to see him.
They once in a while, once a year out here, someone tries to cancel Chick-fil-A and they try to boycott Chick-fil-A, but everyone loves Chick-fil-A so fucking much. And ultimately, it's like, if you tried to, if you canceled Pauly Shore, we'd probably go, yeah, all right. Like, I don't have to hear the weasel like again or something. Or look, maybe if you did me, well, I'll put myself in that position.
Sure.
But Louis C.K., Morgan Wallen, Chick-fil-A, when people really like shit, they just do it.
I feel like all 3 of those people are unhappy to be on the list that you mentioned.
Probably right.
Put me with Chick-fil-A. Like,
put me with Chick-fil-A's like, I got lumped in with Pauly Shore? The fuck? Oh yeah, Mel Gibson came back.
But that was didn't Robert Downey Jr. kind of bring him back? Have you seen that video? It's at the Golden Globes, actually.
If you have somebody vouch for you, that helps a lot.
So, if you can get Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, or like the Avengers all vouching for one of their guys too.
No, he brought him out and he was like, I was on drugs and I did jail time and I did my time and then somebody gave me a shot and I'd done my time in the sun. And then he brought Mel Gibson out and he's like, he's had enough.
Is Robert Downey Jr. the best guy for that?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, he's up there. He's top 5. Like, I feel like Will Ferrell would be good for that.
Why Will Ferrell though? He hasn't had like a gone away and come back.
We don't need that theme from him. He's just such a solid dude, and his thing would be like, I wouldn't be friends with Pauly Shore if he wasn't. No, I wouldn't be friends with this guy if he wasn't a solid dude because I'm so solid.
Just beloved.
You know,
Will Ferrell is like the Gandhi of comedy. Well, just like his light shines on people.
Tom Hanks could vouch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I saw Tom Hanks cussing the other day on like a video online.
He got upset. Yeah.
I'd never seen him say the F word ever.
You know, that's because I think they bumped his wife.
Yeah, but he was like, "Get the fuck away from my wife," and I was like,
cool.
"Dad is angry," you know.
You know, we should all stage that video. Like, you get a woman, she's got to play your wife.
Yeah.
Let's make her pregnant.
Sure.
And then let's have ourselves leave, Craig's or Spago's or the Ivy or whatever it is, and then have somebody bump her, and then you freak out on them, and then everyone's like, Vir's normally a great guy, but then everyone will take your side, but that's his woman. You know what I mean? Like, you'll see this side of him, and Tom Hanks ends up getting praise, because if you just snap, you snap, but if you snap in the protecting your woman, you become a de facto hero.
And you're right, Tom Hanks was praised for that.
Yes.
And then the soundtrack of it could be my son making bad reggae music that nobody listens to. Does everybody know about the son?
We love Chet Hanks.
We love Chet Hanks.
Yeah.
We love Chet Hanks. We love Chet Hanks because somebody told him to apologize for something and told him to fuck off.
Refused, yeah.
What was that?
He was on this show where they confronted him about this accent. They was doing like a Jamaican accent. And it's like, can you apologize? He said no.
Yeah.
Which gives you that escape velocity that you need, where you're just, at that point, you're just untouchable.
Yeah.
You know?
Once you do that, nobody can get you.
All right, let's take ourselves a little break. Vir Daz is going to hang with us. Oh, let me hit a spot here. Good Ranchers, that's what I want to say. New Year's, you've made your resolution, but I got another one for you. How about you get some Good Ranchers, get some serious, high-quality protein into your life. Good Ranchers, 100% American meat. It's a company that delivers the best cuts of beef, chicken, seafood right to your door. And it's all sourced from local U.S. farms. And right now, you can get over 2 pounds of chicken free in every box for a year when you subscribe. That's a year's worth of America's best chicken free. $149 value when you subscribe at goodranchers.com. You've heard Vinny. You've heard Dr. Drew. You need good protein, and that's where Good Ranchers comes in. You don't have to stand in line at the supermarket. Plus a bonus, $20 off with my code Adam at checkout. So use the code Adam at checkout. Save a bunch of money and get some great protein. Good Ranchers, right, Dawson?
Start your year right. Change the way you buy meat by switching to Good Ranchers. Make sure to subscribe today and use code Adam to claim your free chicken for a year and $20 off your first box. Good Ranchers, American meat delivered.
All right, take a quick break. We'll dig up that Tom Hanks clip and we'll play it for you right after this.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Atlanta, Georgia. A 36-year-old man was arrested after shooting 2 female employees of Subway after he argued that his sandwich contained too much mayonnaise. Definitely not a Jew.
We have the Tom Hanks clip of him protecting his lady, I think, from a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
I'll bring some items. I bought some items.
How you doing?
It's been a long time.
Be careful, Tom.
Watch out. Move. Sorry, man, Tom. It's been a long time, Tom. How you been?
Whoa.
Wait.
Stop it.
Hey, what are you doing?
Back the car.
What are y'all doing? What do you want? People are crazy, bro.
Knock it over my wife.
Yeah, they're bugging. Sorry, Tom, about that.
They bugging.
Come on, man.
Wait, didn't the guy who said they bugging knock over his wife?
That guy.
I'm sorry about that, Tom.
That guy's the greatest hype man in the world because he stepped on Rita's foot, and then Tom came over and he went, "Whoa, what's going on? What's going on here?" It's like a guy that was robbing a liquor store, and the cops come in and he goes, "As soon as I finish cleaning this cash register, I'm going to find the guy who opened it." Like, that was good. Yeah, the guy did bumpers. The guy
is the guy. Yeah, like you know how you're watching like a horror movie and then you scream and then everybody turns around and you turn around as well just to be like it was somebody else. This is that guy's like they're bugging.
But Tom gets good credit there for saying that was my woman.
Yeah.
But there's also a lovely moment where Tom Hanks turns around and he's like, "Get the fuck away from me." Realizes this guy could whoop his ass.
That's right.
Like, and then he's like generically looking in the distance and he's like, "Stop pushing my wife," which is kind of cool as well.
Yeah, but prefacing it with the wife too definitely helped with whatever he said afterwards. So,
yes.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got in the news out there, Max Pata?
All right. Well, before we get to the news, I just had a question for what because I see this trending every once in a while. It's boycott Bollywood.
Yes.
And I never could get to the it's happening for like a few months now, and I just wonder what's going on with that because you've been in a few Bollywood movies yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Thankfully, nothing has been boycotted yet, so I'm happy about that. But it's kind of a really sort of passionate group of small people who kind of monopolize Twitter trends to boycott Bollywood. So I think you should equate it with like Skims are awesome. Buy Skims, boycott Bollywood.
Okay, I think it's just peaking at the right times where it's just kind of catching my eye.
I think so.
What's their beef?
I don't know.
Sorry for that reference in India, but
I do think
what's their problem?
Yeah. The beef would be one if you show it.
Yeah, they're Chick-fil-A pro over there.
Yeah, but I think it's also there's this notion of redefining what celebrity is and redefining what fame is, and I think Bollywood they want Bollywood to focus on like telling more heartland stories and more real stories instead of sort of surface level stuff.
What about the whole skin lightening thing? Do they have a problem with that?
It used to be a thing sort of like 15 years ago. It was the number one cosmetic in India, this thing called Fair and Lovely cream.
Right.
And I think as we just kind of became more and more aware and celebrated our own thing, we took it away, and it used to be blamed on like a colonial hangover until we figured out that the British weren't nicer to fairer Indians.
Right.
It's not like they were like, Kumar is lighter than Rajiv, I'm going to be nicer to Kumar. That never happened. Just brown is brown. So no.
But are the Bollywood actresses traditionally light?
No. And I also think the south of India is where kind of the best movies in India right now are being made. And definitely they have a sort of more wheatish tone. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I saw a story on that in 60 Minutes like several years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still a thing.
With Asian, like, I mean, my mom, we grew up like she would rub papaya soap on her because that would lighten her skin. Like, it was like desirable.
And she'd leave and be attacked by bees.
Also, I don't,
they should pollinate.
I don't think any of these creams actually work.
No, I don't think they do either.
I don't think anything lightens your skin but like illness. I think like if you catch a flu, it will lighten your skin.
In certain forms of incarceration work, depending on what color you are, staying out of the sun. But yeah, most of this stuff, most all of it was just the hope, oftentimes of women to achieve something that wasn't going to work through. There was always a sort of do these exercises and lift and tone your bosom, and it's just most of that stuff doesn't work.
I also feel bad for women because whatever these perfect dimensions are and whoever decides what they are changes like every 5 years. Like for men, it's pretty, standard. You need arms, you need shoulders. But at some point, people forgot about boobs and now it's all about the ass. And somebody decided that like 5 years ago.
Right.
And
it was Skims.
It was Skims. It was them. They decided it.
Yeah.
So women had to change their entire workout to now focus on the ass. And I know people who didn't have an ass like 5 years ago and now do.
Well, the ass implant industry 10 years ago.
Oh,
I'm so sad, naive about ass implants. Like, I can't picture it. I don't know how you do it. You cut into the skin and you slide it. For some reason, that hurts my teeth, Same. And I don't get it. But boob implants were all the rage 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Ass implants didn't exist 20 years ago, and now, and I'm wondering, Ben, is there a boob to ass implant ratio surgeries performed in a calendar year? Because I think I can substantiate your trend, because there was no such thing as an ass implant
at all. Like
in the year 2000, there's no such thing as an ass implant that I was aware of. It wasn't a thing. Nobody saw a hot chick in a club and went, I bet she's got a fake ass. You know what I mean? There's lots of fake titty talk.
I also think an ass implant changes your entire life much more than a breast implant. Like, it changes the height of your chair, it changes your car, it changes how you take a selfie. It changes everything.
If you have a nice luxury car that has the seat memory in the electric seat, you have to go dial that up again.
If you need warmers, you have to make it warmer to get through the implant, just to actually give you warmth.
You're not going to feel it.
You're not going to feel it. How do you take a dump? Like, it has to change how you take a dump as well, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You have to push harder.
Yeah, it takes longer because the travel. It's a longer travel. Longer poop travel. I agree. It's going to add milliseconds, but that adds up over the years. It's going to change things. Also, people would slap people on the ass. I don't know if you've had an ass implant, if that's a good thing, a scary thing, if something could burst, if something could get infected.
Yeah,
you have to buy a whole new set of jeans and dresses and wardrobe and everything. It's a commitment.
And then just as you do it, they're like, no, it's about biceps now. It changes. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I wonder, I'll tell you one thing we, or at least I'm speaking for myself, should have done. They have calf implants for dudes.
Okay.
I should have done that. I have skinny calves. No one ever accuses dudes of getting calf implants. You accuse women of getting tit implants all the time. If the woman's 50 and it's sticking straight out, and they go, oh, come on, those are fake. Everyone's like, has anyone ever said, God, that dude has killer calves, and then had someone else go, oh, come on, that's fake.
Yeah,
that's a calf implant.
Yeah, but who has ever accepted you or rejected you sexually basis your legs? Like, I cannot think
you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
This isn't for the women.
Oh, it's just for you, or like fellow male?
It's for men. It's for the respect. It's you get respect. Walk with any dude at some beach or something and put some dude with killer calves in front of him. The dude will comment. The dude will go, that guy's got fucking killer calves.
Yeah.
I know who has killer calves.
Who? The Manoverse guy who just got arrested. Andrew Tate. Killer calves.
Oh, yeah.
He has killer calves?
Yes.
I'll come up. I'll tell you that. Well, first off, I can't remember anyone I went to high school with. I remember Vince DiGiacomo. He had killer calves. His calves imprinted on me when I was at a formidable. Now, look, you got Will Sasso. Will Sasso's got the greatest calves around. Almost him and Vince DiGiacomo were close. Michael Strathane?
I don't.
You would know the actor.
I would know the calves.
Ben, look up Michael Strathane, actor, and just show us his face. And then you guys will go, oh, that guy. Yeah, I've seen that guy. Name sound familiar?
It does. But maybe I'm thinking Michael Strahan. I don't know.
Vir?
I have no idea who any of these people are. Forgive me. But I trust you on their calves.
Will Sasso, you would recognize.
Yeah, show me a picture.
Michael Strathane, and he never wears shorts in anything. But he was in one movie where he wore shorts, and I was like, that guy's got killer calves.
I think the aim is probably to have calves that are big enough to have the tribal tattoo on it, and it fits within the boundary of the calves.
What is... okay, we don't know anyone that's have a calf implant, right?
No.
And look, all you need is that little inner point. You don't really need the outer... You don't need the outer... point. You need the one, you see the guy's got the little kind of sharp point to the inside?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On both sides. Sometimes guys, it'll rub. Guys got really nice big ones. Get a little friction going there.
Yeah, that's why I shaved that part to make it look like I'm rubbing.
Good calves, and now Ben, we need to see pictures of calf implants. Here's the thing about here's why men are so attracted to it. Women care to some degree, but men, it means you are touched by the hand of God because it has nothing to do with you. It's just that's it.
And because you can't increase or decrease it. It just exists.
It just exists. And that means either God loves you or you've been smoten. Whatever the word is.
Smitten? No, smitten by God.
It's not smitten, it's smoten. Yes, it's a total 100% act of God.
Of all the ways to decide whether God loves you or hates you. Like, I was born in Sierra Leone on a hillside, but I have these calves. Right? God still loves me.
Oh my God. Well, now he's showing us a botched calf job.
That looks like a fruit trapped inside a calf.
Yeah. It's a balloon.
That's... Ben, I need to see good examples. All right, that's Will Sasso's calf. All right, that is a killer. That's a killer calf.
Yeah.
He's establishing dominance right there.
And I kind of know who that is. I've seen that person. So
all he has to do is wear shorts, and no one will ever fuck with him. And men will always respect him.
Do you not think the rest of him also makes people not fuck with him?
He's just a strong dude.
Yeah.
You're right. That helps, but you can't go wrong with the calf.
Isn't he in Game of Thrones? No. Is he the mountain?
No. He's on
that's a bad angle.
Mad TV and everything.
Right, okay.
Michael Strathane, the actor.
It's David Strathane.
Oh, it's David Strathane.
And we got him here.
All right. Well, first we need
a great calf shot, though.
First, we need a picture of his face looking like people know him from these movies, because you will know him from these movies. Yep. And then we'll get
the Bourne series.
Then we'll give him I can't really recognize his face from here.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Once they.
He's the guy who always looks at the screen surprised and is like, it's Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
And then the guy's gone.
He's been in every movie. I told you my batting average of when I tell people you will know who this person is, Chris, is 100%.
Yeah.
Right? Even if they go, I've never heard that.
I was confident I'd know.
Well, I was using the wrong name, to be fair. But David Strathane, we'll find a picture of his calf at some point, and you'll go, man, that guy's got nice calf.
But every movie I've ever seen the guy in, he's just looking at multiple screens, just going, he's there, and then he's gone.
I got to believe the reason he works so much is his calves. He probably wears shorts to the audition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
So he probably does a thing where he comes into the casting thing and he just goes, sorry, man, I just came from the gym. I was doing some toe-ups over there. Anyway, if you guys got the sides, you know, and all the casting people do is goes, look at that fucking guy's calves. He must know what he's doing. And they just give him the role.
This is what I'm going to do now. I will never get offered an IT guy again. I'm going to work out my fucking legs and
you
go
work those calves.
And go
but you can't do that much. You might need an implant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Ben, is there such a thing as calf implants, or is it all botched implants?
Don't put up another picture of
because that hurt, please. That hurt me. All right, Chris, what do you got?
Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed too, but like with Indian women, I feel like they've came to the forefront of American culture in the last, 8 years or something like that.
Yes.
Where now they're just like the hottest. The hottest women in the world now.
I mean, they've always been but you needed like Mindy Kaling to push them to the front by producing like 7 things.
Yeah.
Also, there's a lot of it is just payback or retribution or some sort of affirmative action to us ignoring them for so long, going, come on, we need a blonde, we need a blonde, we need a blonde. And now we feel guilty retroactively, and now we have to go, the most beautiful, the most beautiful. Yeah. It's overcompensating for being pricks.
I still do a bit about it, but I felt like sometimes diversity in casting feels like, you go over to somebody's house and you're like, the food needs a little salt, like a little spice. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And then they don't invite you back until 5 years later. And then when you come back, they just give you a plate full of salt with like no food. All the salt is in this one movie.
Yeah, this is where we're at now.
So you get Black Panther and Crazy Rich Asians and Slumdog. And we put all the salt in there. But we're not going to add a little bit of salt to every meal because we can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it feels like sometimes.
We're just looking at a picture of implants.
I know.
They look pretty good.
Those ones look good. Those impressed you?
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it, just do some toe ups. You'll be all right.
It's hard if you don't got a good calf base. You can't build them up. You can kind of define them a little bit, but you're never going to get the David's thing.
Yeah.
What you want is the rock climber legs. Every documentary that you've ever seen about rock climbing, those legs is what you want. That's the body I want. Really.
You wear higher shorts when you do that, when you have them.
Yeah.
They're nice. All right. Well, here, let's talk about this story because it's been going around. This is in San Francisco. And so this video went viral of a man hosing down a woman on the street. And
really?
Oh, yeah. It's sparking a lot of outrage. Here, well, let's just watch it first because this is what's been going around. Everybody is really upset with this dude. So he's just standing there casually, hosing down this homeless woman who's screaming, telling her to get out of here. She's not moving. She's yelling stuff back. And he's just like, move. Just move.
Yikes.
Yeah, so.
Good. Look, let's just say you fucking paid sky-high rental rates and you ran a tobacco shop or a bar or something, and there's some fucking crazy person rolling in their own poop in front of you, and you asked her to move like 15 times, and you asked the city to get her to move, and at no point did anyone do anything, then fucking turn a hose on the bitch.
This was just a matter of time.
Yes.
As long as the city is not enforcing any of these laws, it's going to turn people into vigilantes. They're going to enforce the laws themselves in any way they can. This guy did it with a hose in the middle of winter.
Yeah, what the fucking business owners do, they do it out here, is they start putting out big potted plants and shrubs and stuff like to prevent people from camping out in front of their business or their restaurant. And then the city writes them a ticket because they didn't pull a permit for the fucking thing that the city was supposed to be doing in the first place.
The next one we see is going to be violent.
Yeah. For sure.
The question is, though, before we did she move?
Well,
it's on her.
So for a couple things. So the San Francisco PD, for one, the guy's not facing any criminal charges for doing that.
Good.
Neither party is really seeking to any further police action.
She hasn't lawyered up?
Not yet. And they also noted that the street crisis response team in San Francisco came out to meet with the woman, but unclear of what happened after that. But a guy from the San Francisco Chronicle found the guy with the hose and interviewed him and asked him what happened. So here's his side of it. It's kind of hard to hear, so we'll jack up the audio a little bit because it's just filmed on a phone.
We've had tons of homeless, but they haven't been in a situation where they get that violent with 10 days of the neighborhood trying to do something. We have been able in the past to get them taken to a shelter, which they leave immediately, but they've also had the situation where I don't know.
I've listened to her. I've listened to her talk to the people and say, no, this is the way I want to live. Yeah. My idea of cleanliness is not your idea of cleanliness. Yes. And I've listened to her do that. But
that's fine if she knows what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just getting interviewed out there, saying he's been there for 10 years. It's been 10 days straight that this has been happening, and she hasn't been moving.
Maybe this is just because I come from a warm climate, but he's wearing 5 layers and has buttoned none of them. That's the only thing I'm noticing.
Just our arms get cold, you know?
It's just everything's open, but there's 5 layers.
Yeah, it's like once in a while you see the guy with the tight T-shirt and the scarf.
Yeah.
I'm always like, is it hot? Is it cold? Like, which is it? You're doing a T-shirt and a scarf. I need to know. He's layered up, but nothing zippered or buttoned.
No, there was like a zip hooked in at the bottom, and then it just wasn't zipped up, which I was like, yeah.
Well, it was like, he was like, I'm going to zip my jacket up, and then the phone rang.
Or the news crew showed up.
And then he forgot. Yeah.
He was just like, I'm going to zip up and hose down somebody else.
Listen, this thing of like, hey, people can live how they want to live, or their idea of hygiene is their own hygiene. Fuck off. It's called a society. You're not allowed to just go, I want to drive at the speed I want to drive. I want to defecate where I want to defecate. I want to walk around without pants. That's not how society works. Society has rules. People follow them. And then when it comes to hygiene, you get to do whatever the fuck you want when you get home, but you're not allowed to shit on someone else's or all of our sidewalks. Ugh. And by the way, assholes like that reporter is how this thing blew up and got completely out of hand in the fucking first place. These people are junkies and they need some tough love. They don't need you taking their side, progressive douche. Sorry.
Yeah. And filming with the backside of the phone, see?
Right.
I know you've played there, but have you ever played Caroline's in New York?
Yeah, they shut down, right?
Yeah, they shut down at the end of last year, so it's now been announced that New York City's beloved comedy institution Caroline's on Broadway, which served over 4 decades of comedy, is now becoming a ping pong bar owned by...
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so they're turning it into a ping pong bar, and it's co-founded by actress Susan Sarandon.
What is a ping pong bar?
It's just like a bar.
It's a place in Thailand that you don't tell your wife about.
This one will be a little different, a little more mild.
So Susan Sarandon goes up.
Wow, celebrity appearance at the ping pong bar.
She's like, you just don't tell your wife.
Yeah. This one will be a little different. So it's going to be called Spin NYC. There's already one around, but so it builds itself as the iconic ping pong social club. They have one place in Flatiron. It charges about $60 an hour per table. So you go, it's like Top Golf. You go to your friends, you get some drinks, and you play ping pong and socialize with everybody.
I would never socialize with anyone who ever told me they went to a fucking ping pong bar.
Yeah.
Like, I would cut you out of my life in a second if you told me about that.
I feel like the sound alone would cause me to have a seizure at a certain point, because I'd just be sitting at the bar watching TV, hearing nonstop ping pong, and I would go out of my mind.
Also, it's going to be just either you take it seriously, in which case it's going to be 5 Southeast Asian kids at the bar whooping everybody's fucking ass.
Standing 7 feet from the table.
Or it's just going to be drunk New Yorkers beating the shit out of each other while playing ping pong.
Yeah.
So either way, it's not a piece. Like, no.
And it's underground.
Yeah.
I don't know. Underground, it's not you got to play ping pong on the porch.
Really? Isn't
That's
ping pong mostly in your mom's basement? Like, isn't that?
I'm from here, and nobody has a basement, so
true.
I look at ping pong as set up in the garage or out on the porch or something like that. But it is in the Midwest and other places in the East. I guess the ping pong table is down in the garage. It's too loud, too cavernous, too echoey. I'm really fixating on the sound, but it's going to bother me.
I don't know if it's a dude's thing, because pool is a reasonably seductive sport at a bar, right? So a guy and a girl can play around a pool and meet each other and have drinks. Maybe even bowling. You can you meet a girl bowling? You can, right? Or take a girl bowling?
You can absolutely meet a girl bowling, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you can meet a girl playing ping pong or like take a girl to ping pong.
You can't.
No, right?
You're right.
It's not really a social game because you're standing on the other side. You're not talking the whole time. Bowling, you're sitting around,
sweating and you're jumping around.
Yeah, you're going side to side. You're table width apart from who you're playing and talking to.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So Caroline's is beloved. Mike August tells me it's a woman, Caroline, who's an heir to a big divorce thing. The guy invented like plasma TVs or something, and then she got $1 gajillion, and then she just lost money on it the whole time, but she had enough money where she could do it, and then they upped the rent, and when they upped the rent, she said, she's time to tap out.
Yeah.
It was the first club I ever played in the US was Caroline's.
Really?
They gave me one night, and we sold out, and it was the first time I'd ever come to the States to do stand-up. That was my first gig, And then Lewis and everybody there who run the thing, like I kept going back for like 5 years, and they do the New York Comedy Festival as well. Those guys do a lot of the programs. They're good people, man.
Yeah.
Well, now we got ping pong.
Yeah, now we got ping pong.
Yeah, that's where Justin Bieber went to watch us do a live podcast.
Oh yeah, he went to a show of mine there.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
All right. Well, anyway, rest in peace, Caroline's. Let's see. Let's do one from Disney CEO Bob Iger. So he just told his hybrid employees yesterday in an email that you guys are going to have to start coming to work 4 days a week starting March 1st.
Oh,
I know. Every day is a 3-day weekend, or they get to work from home.
They get to work from home, yeah. So you have to come to the office 4 days a week because, so his 4-day week stipulation is relatively strict compared with other large companies, which have usually opted for like 2 or 3 mandated in-office days.
You know what the problem with giving people shit is you can never take it away. And this is the problem with it was the problem with half the COVID shit and all the relief stuff and all the handouts and all, we talk about universal income and all that kind of stuff. If I brought you a Chick-fil-A, back to Chick-fil-A, if you took almost any American and I said, I'm going to bring you a Chick-fil-A sandwich every day to your front door 5 days a week, and they'd go like, oh, okay. And they'd be thankful, like the first Monday, Tuesday to Thursday. But at some point, a year in, I said, I can only bring you the free Chick-fil-A Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They'd go, what the fuck? Like, this is bullshit now. And they would be pissed. And that's the way fucking people are wired. That's how you ruin kids and spoil kids. And that's why I have all those ne'er-do-wells from rich families and stuff. We shut down society. We shouldn't have shut down society. We made a fucking huge mistake. I was yelling at Mike August about this when we were talking about the cult of COVID. They're in a fucking cult. Super hard left woke is its own cult. They think I'm in a cult because I don't want to be shut down for COVID. They're the fucking cult members who are telling you to wear a paper mask outside on a horse trail or shut down the beaches. They're in the cult, but they treat the normal people who don't live in their fucking woke cult like we're in our own cult over here. No, we are not. You're the fucking one that's in the cult, and now you bought into this, and now it's become a way of fucking life for you assholes. We shut everything down, and now, surprise, surprise, people don't want to go back to work or back to school, or we've lost all this. We should have never fucking shut it down. It was you cult members who let it happen, who accused me and Mike August of being in a cult from inside your own cult, you pussies.
But
Jesus.
Which cult's in control?
Oh, well, it shifts around a little bit. Eventually, sane wins out. Eventually, it just takes a while. Your cult has to be so fucked up and so wrong, and every statistic that you preach has to be so fucking far off, and you have to do so much damage to kids and society and vaccines and everything else. You have to be so fucking wrong that you eventually shut up.
Yeah, it comes at a high cost.
I don't understand the reluctance to go back to work. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, I get the comfort part of it, but
that's exactly
if you work in any organization that is competitive enough, like most parts of the world, people were dying to get back into the office, or like dying to get their kids back into a physical school. So that's the one thing that always puzzles me. Like, wherever you fall on it, like, how are you thinking you're better off at home?
Listen, what you want to do and what is good for you are two very separate things, and we have lost our way. All you do at home is fucking put on weight and day drink, and it's the worst thing you can do, but we don't do it. Like, I say this about Grubhub or whatever. Go fucking cook your own meal, or go order it and go pick it up. It's like, why? The guy will bring it to me. Like, I'm happier when he brings it. It's like, that's a slippery slope. You're going down a bad road. We have a decent picture of David Strathain's calf.
Oh, thank goodness.
By the way.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is him, I don't know in what movie.
Nomadland.
Yeah, you got to kind of pull on the calves. But
I could tell from this distance, though. Those are nice.
Those are. He may have had implants. I'm going to start the rumor that he had implants.
Don't out him.
By the way, maybe not this kind of life, but like van life is something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do 1 year in America in a van and just kind of drive around.
I'll do it with you.
I'm too. I'll need a big white guy. I'm too tiny to be safe.
I want to get the calf implants first, because I feel there's going to be a lot of cargo shorts and hiking.
This could be you guys.
We're meeting new people who don't know my calves, So
this is you and me. I'm Francis McDormand.
That's right. That's right. And I'll have the majestic calves.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in? Is it zoom?
I'll just eat a cupcake daintily sitting next to you.
Zoomable. We'll try to zoom in, but I've always known. I keep track of the guys. Look at that, man.
Fucking hell.
That's beautiful.
He's
calves.
flexing, right?
He's just relaxing. His calves are that magic. I am telling you, I guarantee he auditions at everything in shorts. I guarantee it.
I would too.
Yeah, they're beautiful. Beautiful calves.
I have so much hair, nobody would see the calf, unfortunately.
Your legs?
Yeah, I just have so much fucking hair. They just make the hair look bigger. Can't do it.
I got to get a picture of you two together because I feel like the Indian and the Filipino version of each other is pretty strong.
You are the hairless version of me.
Yes.
That's who we are.
Laksamana has like an Indian background as well. I thought it was, and then I took a 23andMe and I'm 100% Filipino. But I remember one time my computer was having issues at like 2 a.m. and I needed to do something for work. So I called the service line and they directed me to India.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is like, oh, let me take over your computer. So he takes over my computer. So he's controlling the mouse and I'm just watching him. He goes, wait, your last name's Laksamana. Oh, let me tell you about your background. And he just opens Google and spends the next 20 minutes just telling me about my Indian heritage.
And then did he ask for a credit card number and an OTP?
Yeah, I lost my identity after that. Yeah.
All right, let's bring it home, Maxipata.
All right, thanks for listening. Check out the water cooler.
Sorry, I took a sip of water.
It's okay.
All right, let's see. Let me get some plugs in here. Vir Landing is the name of the special on Netflix as we speak, and you can find live dates all over the place. VIRDAS.IN.
Yes.
And that'll you can find all the dates and all the projects and everything coming up. For me, Working Blue with John Popper going to be in Dallas, and you can go to AdamCarolla.com and find out. We're going to be there January 20th and the 21st doing kind of a land cruise thing, hanging all day, having drinks, doing stand-up. John's going to be playing all the hits, all that good stuff. Fitzdog, you go to GregFitzsimmons.com, and until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Vir and Greg Fitzsimmons, Chris Maxipata saying mahalo.